Good afternoon. This is Ifan from the Strategic Day Trader, and this is your market wrap for April 12th, 2019. SPY up 2/3% there. Q's up 0.43. Okay, coming into today, we're following the hourly uptrend. All right, gap up in the market, closing near the highs. We're still up, neutral to bullish, and we are just continuing this hourly grind. JPM ended up gapping up. Okay, so didn't really change the tone of things. So we haven't seen any major reversals or anything happen here. So the expectation will be the same going into Monday. Pullbacks are viable, all right, because we are still in a bullish market. But what we will be focusing on is going to be the earnings and the gaps, and we should have plenty of them next week. Okay, and even a couple weeks after. All right, so just make sure that you are ready to go, okay, because there's going to be a lot of stuff mentioned. I think this morning definitely came up fast, and entries came up fast, okay. So like on the JPM this morning, right, Sammy gave it to you while he was on the mic. 1 minute high-low on the JPM, as well as this 1 minute breakout, okay. Some nice follow through there on the JPM. Eventually came in, did a nice job of transitioning out of this uptrend, and as it or out of this downtrend. And so you can see as it put in a higher low here and then broke to a higher high, right? Let the room know that this was also back to bullish now. I think some people played it going into lunch there, into the new highs. So that was pretty good on the JPM. Sammy also called the APA as it transitioned here as well. You can put in, it wasn't a downtrend all morning, putting in lows, then put in a higher low through this base, put in a high, and then they entered on the higher high. And pretty good exit there as they trailed before USO started to come in there. And then energy as in general was bullish because CVX was acquiring APC. So a lot of bullishness in the energy sector in the morning that kind of calmed down there into the afternoon. But pretty nice plays there on the APA and the JPM. He also gave you the DIS as it transitioned out of the downtrend here. Put in a higher low and then put in a higher high, right? And then worked its way back up to the highs. So that's kind of the difference between just trying to guess the bottom, right, as it's coming in, versus waiting for it to transition out of the downtrend and back up into the uptrend. So you get a kind of higher odds play. Yes, you're not going to end up getting it at the very bottom, right? But you're at least playing something now that is trending in your favor. So some pretty nice stuff. Even though today's earnings list was pretty short, we had the JPM. I don't think the WFC eventually got sold and then kind of stayed near the lows. This didn't really turn into a play. I guess you could have played this sell setup here. But we should have a lot more on Monday, okay? And it's almost a good thing if the market stays with these narrow bars that we have gotten. So that way it's that much easier to focus on the things that are moving and putting in wide range bars. See the JPM. Disney wasn't earnings, neither was the APA, but they were gapping, right? And I think to the downside, we had the ATI as well, which was gapping down, right? Had a nice sell-off there in the morning, okay? This is also a pretty good entry. This breakdown here, kind of the reverse of the JPM. High-low here first, and then a breakdown there, which worked out really well as well. Actually went a little bit climactic. I think some people played it long as well. So you can see even just the abundance of setups that are coming in. You know, just the more market participation that's coming in with earnings season. Okay, so should be excited if you're an active day trader, right? And these are all things that we're going to be looking at in the pre-market. They're going to be on the gaps list. We're going to be talking about the quality of the gap, right? Whether or not we want to play it at the open, whether we want to play it long or short, right? And most gaps we will be playing as pro gaps, right? In the direction of the gap for a continuation higher. And so one of the good things too about the room is that you know, as more things start to come up, as more news, as more gaps start to show up, you know which ones to focus on. So that's going to be really important. So that's one of the benefit of the room members, is that we tell you exactly which ones are our favorites, right? We might have 50 gap ups on the list, maybe 20 in one direction, 30 in the other direction, and then which one our favorites are, usually somewhere in between 3 and 5, sometimes a little bit more if there's a lot of gaps and a lot of good ones. But that's going to help you navigate as we get more things to trade and more things that are reporting and more things that are showing patterns. So there is a promotion going on for first time registrations for the room right now. So definitely check that out. I'm not sure how much longer the promotion is going to be going on. I think it's only supposed to last about a month, so it is coming close to an end. We've had quite a few new people in the last week, and I've only gotten positive feedback. So I think people are enjoying it quite a bit and taking advantage of the promotion for first-time users. Okay, so hope you did well. I think, yeah, if you haven't signed up yet and you wanted to kind of sign up at the best time, I do think next week is probably the perfect time to activate that promotion, because you're going to be getting a lot more plays out of us, right? As you saw, like over the last 2 weeks, it's been kind of like 1 play a day, 1 or 2 plays a day. And then prior to that, the last earnings season was pretty good, and it lasted a good amount of time. So I'm hoping that this one will be the same. Definitely expected to. So it's a good time to get into the room. For those of you that signed up this week, I think that was a good time too, because you got a chance to get acclimated, figure out how the calls work, how the announcements work, and how our management works. So for those of you that are already signed up and spent a week or 2 with us, you're ready to go next week. So hope you're excited. We will see what the market brings us on Monday and go from there. Okay, neutral to bullish remains on the Qs and SPY, meaning that pullbacks are buyable. Okay, going into Monday, and we'll be focused very much on what's on the earnings list and who's gapping. Okay, so I'll talk to you on Monday. Have a great weekend, and I'll talk to you next week.